Hey everyone, welcome to the E2 Effective Elders podcast. E2 is devoted to coaching your elder team to win by providing biblical and practical resources in authentic relationships. E2 wants nothing more than to equip you to move God's kingdom forward in the place you're serving Jesus. Visit us at e2elders.org and please share this good word with others.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so very much for joining us here at E2, our podcast, and our thanks to Dusty Rubeck, the president of CDF Capital, who keeps investing in elders across the country and around the world. Thank you, CDF, for making the podcast possible. And our thanks to Dave Brotton. Dave is the lead elder over at University Christian Church in Manhattan, Kansas. How are you, bud?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great. I'm ready for another visit out to Kansas. I need some good barbecue. You got any out there?
We can take care of that, but you better hurry. It's not warm and sunny anymore. It's starting to cool off.
Yeah, I understand. And I notice you've got on the wrong football shirt, bub.
Absolutely. Well, and I'm sneaking down to my wife's office, so I could have gone with purple today, but I just go with cheap.
I saw K-State back there. Absolutely. So we are in the midst of the fall football season, and what we're doing for a few weeks on our podcast is we're paying attention to our Elders Playbook, and we are asking leaders of different churches with whom we partner to pick a play that they would call for their elder team. Now, if you are listening to or watching our podcast and you do not have one of these, you can get them at e2elders.org. And right now, they are discounted 20% because of this season in which we find ourselves. Dave, as a partner church, you know, I've been to Manhattan many times, enjoyed your hospitality, and had a privilege of working with the staff and elder team at university. What play would you call from the playbook for your team right now?
Absolutely. As I've shared before, I love this book. There's some real wisdom in here, you know, just to be able to look up an issue and you know, elders face some tough issues. You know, both inward and outward with what's going on sometimes within the church, and to be able to look something up and kind of take a couple of pages and skim through it and say, oh, okay, I'm feeling the same way here. This is something we need to think about. If I had to run a play right now, I'm going to pick play number 2 on page 7, and it's the Burnout Elder. And, you
Talk
know,
about that a little bit.
Well, I think it absolutely has to do with the times that we're living in right now. We as a church, we went through a pretty significant bylaw change, which is another play in the playbook, one that you guys helped us out with quite a bit. But I think we finished up 2019. We got it accepted at the end of 18, went through 2019, and thought, wow, we don't have any really big, hairy, scary type stuff. You know, we're not building a new building. We haven't, you know, we don't have a new pastor that we're trying to bring on. And so it was like, hey, let's get strategic. Let's really dig in and start doing some fundamental stuff. And then about spring break came along, and we got hit with COVID like everybody else did. And elders meetings went from in-person to Zoom meetings, and they went from Zoom meetings once a month to maybe once a week or a couple of times a week. And what's the local code say for wearing masks, and who's going to fight this? And are we going to have the police showing up outside if we have somebody show up that doesn't wear a mask? And all of a sudden, you know, love serving as an elder, but also as a member of the business community and as a husband and a father, I had about 10 things going on, and probably about 7 of them, you know, my capacity was about 3, you know. And so the Burnout Elder was really good for me to kind of take a look at it, and you know, actually I delegated a few other things that I was doing in the church to some folks and said, hey, I just got to step away for a little while. I absolutely want to continue to be an elder and serve in this function, but you know, we all have different times and different stresses. And, you know, I think that's really important as an elder to be able to recognize that. And
yeah, I wrote that particular play. I've run a few marathons, and hitting the wall is a very real phenomenon when you run a marathon. So why don't you describe a little bit, how did you know that you hit the wall as an elder, particularly a lead elder, and you found yourself burnout?
I think it was a couple of things. Honestly, it was one of our elders meetings, and such wisdom, such grace. We just got a fantastic group. But I also know that I'm kind of the fiery one a little bit, and I try to bottle that up and listen first and ask a lot of questions. But I think we were in the phase where we had been shut down, and then we had finally made it back open, and then we had been shut down again, and now we were, you can only have 20%, you got to be 6 foot, it's this and it's that, and yada, 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 and the California churches are suing, and the legislature's doing something or another, and I just remember getting on a Zoom meeting one night, and having done this all day long in the place where I work, living with the same sort of restrictions that we were doing, I just kind of flat said, I think this is the last time that I ever want to see this church closed. I said the next time, it's going to be a fight, and I still really embraced that and was open enough to share that with my brothers. But I had a couple of guys afterwards said, "Wow, I don't normally see and hear that out of you." And I said, "Well, I'm just about at the end of my rope on this one. I think this is the kind of stuff that we got to be careful with. I think we're gonna need to fight on this a little bit." But I also think just being self-aware. Hey, I got a lot of stuff going on here, and a little shorter fuse than I normally do, right? And want to be absolutely want to be serving Christ in the best way that I can as an elder. And if you're not coming into that, in kind of a patient and a loving environment, hey, be careful. And so that was that just on top of just. It seemed like every night we were busy between work and church, and it was like, hey, I've got to take some things off my plate here.
Yeah. So how hard was it for you to be transparent with your fellow brothers?
Oh, incredibly easy. But we have a phenomenal elders group, and same thing with Barry and Jack, our senior pastors. Was just we meet every Thursday for lunch in the park and sit and talk and, work over stuff. And, that's just incredible between the elders and the leadership. And I told those guys, I said, hey, I got to get some of this stuff off my plate just so that, I feel like I'm running from one meeting to the next, and I'm not thinking about things or have the soak time that maybe I need to, to do that. And so,
yeah, well, again, if we turn the hands back on the clock, 2.5 years ago, your bylaws required you to have a lot of elders on that team. Yep. And your former bylaws required an exceptional number of people to roll off every year and an exceptional number of people to roll on every year. Yep. And one of my observations in reading your bylaws was it was a revolving door. You really couldn't develop relationships as an elder group, and now you have an elder team. You know one another. You can speak honestly, candidly, transparently, and you, as brothers, you really do love one another. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was a 3-year on, right? So the first year you're on, you don't know anything, and you don't really want to speak up because you want to see how things work. And in the last year, it's like, well, I'm going to be out of here in a year. I don't really want to. And so you better hope that you hit the middle year with your core group of guys. And with the, we were saying that you could serve for 3 years, then be off, then back on. So we had several elders that were on their second and third and fourth terms of duty. So they were really good. They understood how it worked. But then you've also got that mix of folks coming in and coming out. And boy, that would have been tough to do this year with COVID.
Yeah, it would. And absolutely.
because of that change, we were in a really good place.
Yeah. When COVID struck, I couldn't agree more. And so, kind of like a football team where a player needs to come off for a little while, sit on the side before going back in. Elders need to have that courage to call the coach over on the sideline. Hey, let me come off the field for a little while. And so you're still going to be an elder. It might be that you're not going to carry as many responsibilities as in these recent months, and that's okay. But burnout is real, and it's important that we recognize it, just as you have, and you've had the courage to do something about it.
Yep.
Awesome.
So, now, thank you for the playbook. It's been incredible, and like I said, lots of wisdom in there.
Mm-hmm. I got an email this morning from a neurosurgeon, and he's an elder at a large church in another state, and we're starting to do some work with them. And I was very encouraged. He has literally taken all of 2021, and he has taken every play in the playbook, this brain surgeon, and he has assigned a play to a date, and all of their elder team, they're getting together, whether it's through Zoom or in their meetings, and they're literally learning every play through the book. And when he sent me that email today, I'm here to tell you, my heart was ready to jump out of my chest.
Little pitter patter, huh?
Yeah, I was thrilled. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Well, thanks, buddy, for the partnership. And we really do think of University Christian Church in Manhattan, Kansas, as a model church. Paul said to the church in Thessalonica, you have become a model to all of the believers throughout Macedonia and Achaia. And that is true of University. You have become a model to all of the believers, not only across Kansas, but far beyond. And it's a privilege to work with you.
Well, that's a very kind thing to say. Hey, we serve an awesome God.
Yeah, we do indeed. God bless you, buddy. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.